Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada.
Final day of group stage action at Beijing 2022 for the men's Paralympic ice hockey tournament. Canada taking on Korea today on the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show presented by Petro-Canada. Hello, Canada, from wherever you're tuning in from. Thanks for joining us. I'm Victor Finley. With me is 2006 gold medalist from the Paralympic Games, longtime national team goaltender, Paul Rosen. Paul, today we have Canada, who are looking to get back on track after dropping a 5-0 decision against their arch rivals from the United States to open up the tournament. They get today South Korea.
Yeah, Canada is not happy. They had a good practice yesterday. Korea's actually happy, and people would think, well, they lost 9-1. They did, but the third period they won 1-0. So they're coming in strong and really with a good attitude. But they're coming up against a very angry, determined Canadian team, and I think it's going to be a long night for the goaltender in the Korean net.
So we saw our first look at Korea just a day ago in the group stage. That was against the United States. We'll have a look back at the highlights now. A dominant performance offensively for Team USA in the first two periods of this game, Paul, and it was in particular off the hop, Jack Wallace that really stole the show.
Absolutely. I'm very impressed with Jack Wallace. That was an absolute cannon under the bar. Wallace scores 3 in this game. He had a great first game against the Canadians. He's really come a long way. He's doing a lot for the game, especially for the youth in the United States, doing his TikTok videos. And I really like this young kid. Look at that passion and poise, and puts it under the bar. Real nice shot.
Malik Jones would go on to add another one. Now he's got a couple of Paralympic goals in 2 games for Team USA. Then, of course, Declan Farmer as well. Beautiful wraparound here. He was big again for USA.
What can you say about Declan Farmer? He's broken records already that may never be touched, and he could have 2 or possibly 3 more games under his belt, which is, all I can say is thank God I retired when he started.
And this was the one goal from South Korea, Seung Hwan Jung, first ever goal in the Paralympics against the United States of America. That was a big one.
That was a huge one because a mistake was made by a player on the U.S. that very rarely makes a mistake, Josh Pauls.
So here's how the standings look in Groups A and B after a couple days now group stage action. Of course, USA on top of their group. For Group A, winner of Canada and Korea today gets a bye into the semifinal. Group B, this has been the interesting one, Paul. You see Italy, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Team China 2-0 to start the tournament. They've won both their games, led by Shen Yifeng as well, who's got 5 goals already in this tournament.
I'm shocked by the Chinese. They are playing great hockey, 2-0. No, I don't care how much you know about this game. Nobody saw the Chinese up 2-0, and it's playing out that it could be a China-Korea bronze medal game. That would be fantastic.
Still lots to play out, and for Team Canada today, they are looking, as we mentioned, to turn things around, Paul, after a pretty disappointing way to open up the tournament, being shut out by USA. And their captain, Tyler McGregor, spoke with the media after that game. Here's what he had to say.
I think they, once they start to open the game up, like they start to spread the ice out and use their speed to their advantage. And then when we start chasing pucks, we start chasing the game and we get sloppy and create a lot of time and space for them to do their thing and end up giving high percentage scoring chances. And they're a team that capitalizes, and that's one thing that we were aware of, and we have to do a better job of staying tight and really dictating the pace rather than allowing them to do that to us. We know our team's prepared. This is one game, and we have to have that mindset that we still have 3 more games to play, or however many to put ourselves in a position to get in a gold medal game and go out and do our thing. And we're confident in our preparation. And I think a day off tomorrow will allow us that opportunity to reset. But we want to keep everything positive, everything light, and address the things that we need to.
So Captain Tyler McGregor looking to keep things positive, looking to keep things light ahead of this game against the Koreans. Out of any of those post-game comments there, Paul, is there anything that sticks out to you about that?
You know what? He's the captain of the team. He's the leader of the team. He said exactly what he needed to say. He didn't give anything for the U.S. to put up on the bulletin board going into the gold medal game because unless there's a huge shock, it should be Canada and U.S. in the gold medal game. The team is prepared. They know what they did wrong. He did the right thing. He said the right thing.
So we'll be talking more about Tyler McGregor here momentarily, of course, leading the way for Team Canada as their captain. But in the meantime, we'll step aside for a quick break, but don't go anywhere. More for the pregame show coming your way next on the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show right here on CBC.
The Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada. At Petro-Canada, we're proud supporters of Canada's coaches and athletes.
Take it all in. Show up early. Stay late. Live your passion. Get out. Get in. Do more. Hold. Get the bag. Keep one packed. Don't put it off. Because when we make it count, we rise higher.
Hey, the gold medal event's on soon.
It is?
Yeah.
The event's about to start! I gotta get home!
Or we can just watch it on the 5 TV app.
Watch anywhere on any device with the 5 TV app.
Welcome back to the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show. Victor Finley here with Paul Rosen. Bit of a show and tell segment for you. Paul went back rummaging in his garage and brought with him tonight a couple articles of equipment from his time as the national team goaltender with Team Canada. Let's start off with the glove hand today, Paul. That was one of the best gloves in the world for its time when you were guarding the net for Team Canada. When you look at it, it looks fairly similar to what you would see with a normal goaltending setup in stand-up hockey. But tell us about what some of the differences are between para ice hockey goaltenders and their gloves and what we see with stand-up.
Well, first of all, my glove hand was pretty good, and I had a great goalie coach, Jamie McGuire, to help me out. But the glove itself is pretty well the same as an able-bodied goaltender, although one big difference is this was an old-school glove where the trapper was very wide. Nowadays, it has to be much similar, much smaller, pardon me, and there is new standards to it. There was no standards when I played. You could do pretty well whatever you wanted. The biggest difference is the spikes. So I went to my shoemaker, got a pad, put the pad on with holes, went to the local hardware store, got a bunch of screws, put as many as I could in because I couldn't find a rule on 7, 12, 15. So I put 31 in. And what that did, it gave me advantage because as a bigger goalie, and most of the goalies were 150, 180 pounds, I was 220 pounds. So I wanted to catch on the ice and move as much as I could in any way I could, and that's what it did. Nowadays, there's after Vancouver, there's new rules, and you can't have, I think it's 6 or 7, it might be a little more. It's definitely not 31, and I just took advantage of what I could take advantage of.
Okay, so that's a glove. You brought your stick here as well. Of course, it's a lot shorter than what we would see for able-bodied goaltender sticks. What else can you tell us about this, though, that's different?
The one thing that the players have is the spike on the end, and that's to move you forward, and that's the spike here. It's laser cut. I never went to medical school, but I could perform surgery with this. There's no doubt about it. And the biggest difference is on the end of the stick, on the curve that the blade and the shaft come together. That blade, that spike there is the most important one because it allows me to go backwards. And as a goaltender, you have to be able to go backwards, forwards, sideways, and the more spikes and the better spikes on the actual stick will give you that opportunity. Obviously, since 2010 and 2022, things have changed. They tried to get the game safer. it might have been a little tougher for me to play now with the way I played, Victor.
That stick, it looks like it's taking a bit of a beating there as well. Why is it so scratched up on the front?
Okay, so this stick was the last stick that I used in Vancouver, and this stick, because the spikes that the players use, I was a fairly aggressive goalie, we could say that. Some might say different. So when a guy came in the crease and he tried to get me, I'd put my stick up, and it scratched pretty good. But I thought it would be really important for everybody to see how vicious this game is.
Well, thanks for bringing that in, Paul. Really appreciate it. Great inside look at the equipment, and there's so much that goes into the game as well, in particular for the goaltenders. So thanks for digging that out of your garage today and bringing it in for the show.
You got it.
All right, stay with us. More here from the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show as we get ready to drop the puck for Korea versus Canada.
Teamwork. What we learn from play, we learn for life.
Moments away from the start of the action in this group stage game between Canada and Korea. Before we get there, first though, Paul, let's have a look at your player to watch. We've already talked about him a little bit earlier, that being Tyler McGregor.
Yeah, McGregor's definitely the player to watch today. He's the captain. He expects a lot out of himself. The team expects a lot out of him. He didn't have a great game. He'll tell you that in game one. He is going to be flying today if Canada is going to get a win.
So Canada head-to-head against Korea, a fair bit on the line today. The winner of this game gets a bye into the semifinal. They've only ever met once before at the Paralympics. That was in the semis of the 2018 tournament. 7-0 win for Canada. Korea will go on to win the bronze.
Hey boys, luck's got nothing to do with it. You're ready, you've prepared all year long. Here we go.
Woo! Go boys! What's up, parents? The women's hockey team. Welcome to Beijing. We just wanted to wish you the most luck. Have the most amazing experience. Good luck, boys.
Hey guys, just want to wish you the best of luck, especially stud 18. You know who you are, Billy. Let's go.
Good luck, boys. We're sending you some golden vibes here. Cheering you on.
I love to see that. There are some messages of encouragement from Cerners, Jill Saunier, and so many more from the Canadian national women's team. And great to see, Paul, the Hockey Canada family supporting one another once again.
That's one of the most incredible things is the men's team, the women's team, and the para ice hockey team are a family. We all cheer each other on.
Okay, almost ready now for the start of Canada and Korea. Paul, let's get your 3 keys to victory for the Canadians today.
Absolutely, Victor. Number one is shots on goal. They cannot be happy with the quality shots they had against the U.S. They have to get a lot of shots on goal, especially if they're going to beat the Koreans. A lot of shots on goal. Number two is they must play better in the neutral zone. The offensive and defensive zone will take care of themselves. The neutral zone is critical. That's the middle of the ice for those of you new to the game. And number three is their power play. Korea took a lot of penalties against the States. Canada's power play has to get on track with Bridges and Westlake and Hickey, especially if they're going to be prepared and ready for the U.S. again in the gold medal game.
So a couple lineup changes of note for Canada in this contest. Rod Crane as well as Antoine Lehoux, they are both scratched. So checking into the lineup are rookies Garrett Riley and Brandon Sisson. Riley of Brantford, Ontario, Sisson representing the province of Alberta from Edmonton, both making their Paralympic debuts in this one. Starting goaltender there, you can see prominently in the middle of your screen is Dominic Larocque of Team Canada. Without a doubt, one of the best in the world, although was under fire for the majority of Game 1 against the United States of America. And between the pipes on the other end of the rink is Jae Woong Lee, who, much like Larocque, was pulled after 2 periods of play against USA in his last game.
I'm going to say more rested than pulled, but one thing that Larocque and his family will not be happy about, they had him as 6 goals against. That was 5 goals
That's
against.
right.
The 6th goal was against young Adam Kingsland.
All right, Canada and Korea set to start things off, and bring this group stage to a close. The winner moves on directly to the semifinal. Loser will play in the quarters.
And that quarterfinal game, Victor, I think is going to be really, obviously the semis and the bronze and the gold, we know that. But I think this year, with the way the preliminary round is set up, the quarters are going to be excited. Make sure you watch.
So facing off at center ice, and we are underway. It's a clean win for the Koreans as Seung-Hwan Jung, the South Korean Rocket Man as they call him, scored the only goal for Korea against the United States of America. He is the offensive star of this Korean team. 14 in white will be the one to watch. On the Canadian side, donning the black and red uniforms for this game, as Larocque plays it early around the near side boards.
Yeah, Larocque comes out, and like we said in the first game, he's like a third defenseman, which helps so much for that play, that transition game.
Adam Dixon plays this one ahead. Racing after it is James Dunn. Had a hat-trick against Korea back in an exhibition series earlier in the year. These two teams played a bunch back in mid-November. Here's an early shot for the Canadians, and a save made by Lee. He'll hang on for the whistle.
And I think the Canadian tried to go upstairs, as if they watched any of the film against the U.S. yesterday, they know you're not going to beat Lee down low. So here's a play, a nice pass over, left-hand shot, a glove save. Little too close there for Bridges, but that's a huge difference, Victor, from the game when I played, is almost everybody can shoot with their left and right hand. It's critical to success. Back in the day, everybody shot with their right hand. Now, everybody can shoot with both hands, and that's a huge difference from able-body hockey.
Bring it out to center and just shovel it in. For Billy Bridges, is there any difference between how hard he shoots the puck, depending on what side it comes from?
His shot to the right side is absolutely deadly. Dental surgeons all over the world know that. His shot to the left side is still as good as anybody's right, but not as strong as his left.
Zizin moves this one ahead. Canada have numbers up the middle. McGregor takes his shot and slides it wide. Still loose in the crease for a moment, and the Koreans send it to the end boards.
I like the opportunities that the Canadians are having right now. They're moving the puck well, and they're getting, like we talked about in the keys, they're getting some shots on goal.
They only had one shot against the United States in the third period of play, and that loss to open up the tournament. As they come in over the line here, is Lavin ganged up on by a number of Koreans as he sent it in toward the netminder, and this puck is covered up for the whistle.
Here it is right here. Nice little play, watches, and that's a smart move. When you get the defenseman, and watch here, you get the defenseman with his back to you, you got to go around him. As soon as he comes to your right, you go to your left. He comes to your left, you go to your right. Great play by Tyler McGregor, and look at those eyes, fierce eyes of Dominic Larocque.
Longtime member of the Canadian military, Dominic Larocque, and now a longtime member of the Canadian Para Ice Hockey national team.
And that's a huge thing. Any of the players that on any of the countries that have represented their countries in the military and been in war situations, you talk about discipline. It's a little different discipline on the ice than when you've got people going after you. He's a guy I'd love to have played with.
Yeah, a couple players on this Canadian team served in the military. A number of them on the United States of America are Purple Heart recipients, and even on this Korea team, number 11 today, Bae-Suk Choi, was part of the Korean military when he was injured at 25 years old and lost his left leg, and now suits up for the Korean national para hockey team. Canada in the offensive zone, looking to set something up. Puck comes back to Ben Delaney. Off on the near side boards, or far side boards rather. Anton Jacobs-Webb plays it around.
I'd love to see Delaney pick his game up. He didn't play the last few years. He's back on the team now. Very solid player from the Ottawa area.
Back along the far side boards. Skating up to it is Ben Delaney. Throws it around to open space in the near side corner. Young-Jae Cho ties up his man Liam Hickey. And a loose puck floats out to center once again. Turning around is Billy Bridges. Hard off the boards. Back around it comes. Into the corner, battle for it here. Poked out by Dunn for Hickey behind the net, who's given a bit of a hard ride. Stays with it though. Now Dunn takes a shot. That one's stopped by Lee. Dunn had a hat trick against the Koreans back in the exhibition series in mid-November.
The Koreans are playing very smart right now, forcing outside shots. And this is, if you're the Korean coach, this is what you want. You want to keep it to 0-0 as long as possible.
Billy Bridges couldn't get that shot through. This one is airmailed off the glass at center ice. Settled back down by Adam Dixon in his own end. Back up to the far side. Hickey threads it ahead. And a race for it here. The first to it is Ji-Hun Ryu.
Good defensive play by the Koreans.
And they'll just dump it out down the ice again. What's the key here for Korea, Paul, to try and keep this one close?
Well, you have to keep the Canadians outside. You cannot let Bridges or Hickey, Westlake, any of the big shooters get in close and get in the house, in the front of the net, because that's where you're going to have trouble. They're going to go top corner like the Americans did, and as good as Lee is down low, it's going to be pretty tough for him to stop the bullets up top.
Here's a chance for Westlake, and Lee catches a piece of that, shrugs it off. And back to the far side, McGregor skates around.
He's actually, even though he let the 9 in yesterday, or the 8 in. No, he did let all 9 in.
There's a shutout period in the third.
Yeah,
for South Korea.
Forgot about that. I got to give the just rewards to the backup goalie on Korea. But he did play well. He let 9 in, but he made some nice stops.
Here's another shot for McGregor. That carries wide, loose at the side of the net for a moment. Hard hit at the side. And that allows South Korea to clear this puck back through the neutral zone.
That's exactly what they want to do. As soon as the puck clears their zone, just get it back into the Canadian zone, and anything's possible. Here's a potential chance. Nope.
That one's denied at the line by Brandon Sisson, as Dominic Larocque stops up behind the net and plays it over.
I love the way he comes out behind the net to stop that puck, just like every able-bodied goalie out there. It makes the defense so much easier.
There's a shot incoming. Jung Kyung Lee that didn't get through traffic. Back to the near side. Still battling for it here. Ben Delaney's tied up as Greg Westlake trying to jar it free. Finally does come loose. Right by the face-off dots, picked up by Sisson. And Sisson handles it over to his left.
The one thing the Canadians cannot get is frustrated. They're having the bulk of the play they have right now, but the longer it goes 0-0, there's more chance that they can get frustrated, and frustration is not a good quality to have as a hockey player.
This one's played around, but they're going to say offside, and that'll bring the face-off here back to center as Garrett Riley touched up.
A little bit of funny stuff going on behind the scenes there.
Still early on in the third, no score between Canada and South Korea.
Take it all in. Show up early, stay late. Live your passion. Get out, get in, do more. Hold. Get the bag, keep one packed. Don't put it off. Because when we make it count, we rise higher.
Paul, can we expect a bit of a chippy and physical affair today between Canada and Korea?
You can definitely expect it on the Korean side, 100%. That's a part of their game. That's what they've done from day one when they started back in Vancouver in 2010. The Canadians, if they play into it, they won't be successful. They have to just wipe it out, especially a guy like Billy Bridges, who is so strong and physical. He can't get caught up into that back and forth game. He has to play his smart game and let that cannon go. He's got hundreds of goals in his history, and that's what he has to do. And as soon as he gets that first one, the monkey off his back, everything's going. Here's a chance.
Here's a chance as Dunn plays it over. Hickey shot, scores! Canada's first goal at Beijing 2022 comes off the stick of Liam Hickey, and they lead South Korea 1-0 in the first period of play.
Well, that's the pride of Newfoundland and Labrador. Everybody back in Newfoundland and Labrador is going to be happy. A nice little pass out. Slip off pass to Hickey. He waits until Lee goes down. That was a mistake by Lee because he had Hickey to a very, very weird angle. If he would have just stayed up, he would have been fine. But by going down, it squeaks through his glove hand and goes in, and Canada's on the board. And I can guarantee you, every guy on that bench is now taking a huge, deep breath because that's what you want. You just want to get that first goal out of the way. Very rarely, I'm going to say never in a tournament, as Canada waited till their second game to score a goal.
Liam Hickey was the best defenseman from the 2021 World Championship in Ostrava, Czech Republic, where Canada brought home a silver. And he steps up with the first goal of the Paralympic tournament this year.
And he's a forward now.
Here's Dunn with a shot.
Oh,
wow, what a shot it was. Top shelf. Tickles the twine, and after setting up the Hickey goal, James Dunn comes right back and scores one of his own.
I was just going to say that the floodgates could open the way the Canadians are going to start to play once that goal goes in. And here's a beautiful one. Mistake by the defenseman on Korea, gives Dunn the chance, and he puts it up, and he puts it up fast. No chance for Lee on that one. Dunn will be extremely happy to get the monkey off of his back and get that first goal. And I'm going to say it right now, this could be a long evening for the Koreans after those two.
So James Dunn quickly 2 points on the night. In his second Paralympic appearance when he played for Canada in Pyeongchang 2018, he was just 17 years old. Now 4 years later, alternating the alternate captain with Liam Hickey.
And this is very similar to that game against, I thought that was offside, and it was offside. This is very similar to the start of the U.S.-Korean game. Korea played the U.S. real close for the first 5 minutes. As soon as the Americans scored that first goal with Wallace under the bar, the floodgates opened. Here's a little slip-off play. Bang. That was an absolute beauty. I think some of the Koreans didn't know it went in because it went in so fast, but the referee was in perfect position to call that goal. Guys like Westlake and Bridges, they want a goal. They want to get that that opportunity to be on the board. I'll guarantee it.
Yeah, still waiting for the big names here to strike first for Canada. Lots of time still to do that. 7 minutes to go in the first period of play, as the whistle brings this play back with a 2-0 lead here for Canada.
I think the Canadians right now, especially the coaching staff of Mike Foligno and Ken Babby, they are just taking a deep breath and going, okay, we've got it where we want it. It's 2-0, but we know the players are actually doing what they need to do, and that's when they get that chance, they're going to capitalize. And that's the big thing with the Americans. When they get those chances, they capitalize.
Bit of a dangerous pass there in front of the net, but it hit the mark. As it's shoveled out to center, Delaney plays it ahead. Looks like McGregor will be the first to this. And out of the corner, slams it right back off the boards. That missed the intended target at the line, comes all the way back into Canadian territory, and they had to hustle quickly to get it back up to center. Now onside, here comes Jung for Korea. Pokes it ahead. And scooped right back up by the Canadians. Loose puck though, intercepted.
That could have been a slashing penalty on McGregor. He got away with one there.
Siwoo Choi couldn't connect with the pass as it comes all the way back over to the far side. Still loose as Greg Westlake skates up to it. Taps it right back off the boards and gets it right back. Here comes Greg Westlake skating it over the blue line. Takes a shot in on Lee. And the Korean netminder able to flag that down and gets the whistle.
That was a smart play by Westlake. He's there to make a change. His two line mates came off. Instead of dumping in the corner, you take that shot on the goal. The goalie catches it and freezes it, and there's a whistle.
So Liam Hickey and James Dunn, the two goal scorers for Team Canada, they're up in front, 2-0.
Hey, the gold medal event's on soon.
It is?
Yeah.
The event's about to start!
Or we can just watch it on the 5TV app.
Watch anywhere on any device with the 5TV app.
All business for Dominic Larocque and Team Canada in this first period of play, looking to get back on the right side of things after dropping a shutout contest against the United States of America 5-0 in the opening game. And here you saw assistant coach Russ Harrington, who serves as the head coach of the York Lions men's hockey team back in Canada. That's university hockey. Part of the coaching staff over in Beijing with Canada, drawing something up there on the whiteboard.
The Canadians coaching staff is very experienced in the able-bodied game and have now been around the para ice hockey game for a number of years, with Ken Babby being the head coach for quite a while.
Goes all the way back to the 2014-15 season for Ken Babby, since he first took over the reins. As Ben Delaney looks to set it up here for Canada. Tries to shovel it out in front. It drifts all the way over to the far side where Anton Jacobs-Webb has it now. Looks to float it down low. Take it away by the Koreans. Canada stay in on the forecheck. Now Garrett Riley. Back over to the near side. Dixon able to keep that in at the line. Plays it right back up the middle. Here's Delaney with a shot. Pretty good look, but right at the Korean netminder, and Lee hangs on to that.
I tell you one thing, I've had a chance to train with Delaney back in the day, and he has an absolute rocket shot. He caught me in the head a few times. I saw stars. Here he is right there. Tries to use the screen. Good shot. You know, Ken Babby took over for Mike Mondin, who was the assistant coach to Jeff Snyder when I played. And Mike Mondin, one of the nicest people in the world, one of my favorites, from Trail, BC. Home of Ray Ferraro.
That's right. Beautiful Trail, British Columbia. As here's Rob Armstrong. Looks to pass it over to the near side. Billy Bridges goes into the corner with it. Deals with a couple Koreans there. James Dunn looking for it as well. Bridges. Back to the line. Adam Dixon's shot is deflected high over top of the net by Dunn. He's had an active start to this game, as Hickey's run into behind the net.
Absolutely.
Off the glass and knocked down again at the line. Here's Dixon. Looks to slide it over for Dunn. Takes some contact. Delayed penalty here upcoming to South Korea. Dixon centers. Oh, what a shot and what a look. Right in front for Billy Bridges, but he comes away empty-handed. He missed the net. And Liam Hickey back down along the goal line again in front for Bridges, and just missed on that too. Canada still with it, wrapping it around. Lee gets over though, seals off the post. Bit of a traffic jam in front of the net as Korea finally touch it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a power play. Here it is right here. I don't know what that, maybe interference, but maybe holding.
Siwoo Choi to the box in any event for Korea.
Not 100% sure what that's going to be called, but Bridges with two good opportunities there. Didn't score, but as long as Bridges is shooting the puck, Victor, the opportunities will happen, the goals will happen. He's played way too long. He's got every record imaginable in Canada, and I know back home in Mississauga, Ontario, Sammy Joe Small and Kenzie, his daughter, they are watching, and they are so proud of Billy. And Sammy, one of the best goaltenders in Canadian women's history.
No kidding. Absolutely was in the late 90s, early 2000s for Team Canada. Is cleaning things up here a little bit in the Korean crease. Before Canada will go to the power play, there is Seung-Hwan Jung.
I think what they want to do here is right off the draw. Tyler McGregor will probably be taking this draw. Right off the draw, let's try to move the puck. I think they're going to say to each other, move the puck around and get some isolation on Bridges for the Bridges shot. We see Dominic Larocque, he's in full mode like this is a gold medal game. But I'm going to say he's not going to have many shots on goal. And in the games where I think McGregor's talking, I don't know what's going on here, but in the games that I played back in the day that we dominated, and I went 9-10 minutes without a shot. Let's see what happens here. Maybe there's another penalty. There could be 2 calls on the same play. Not 100% sure. But the thing that I would do, because you get bored very fast when, oh, the Canadians got a penalty too. Oh, did he? Is that number 5?
He put up 5 fingers.
Is that number 5, or is that a 5-minute major? Because it could be a butt end, and a butt end in this game is way more dangerous than a butt end in the able-bodied game, as you have a laser cut spike there that's the original penalty, the slash.
So that's Siwoo Choi in the box for slashing. Now, I don't think Tyrone Henry was on the ice. He was number 5 for Canada, Paul.
Yeah.
I don't think he was on the ice at the time.
No, it wasn't that. I think it was afterwards. There was a scrum in front.
Right.
2 guys might have done something. I think the Canadian, I'm going to take a guess here and we'll figure it out. I think the Canadian, whoever it is getting 2 minutes for a rough, and the Korean penalty is going to be to number 5. Or it's going to be a 5-minute major for a butt end, although they have 4 guys on the ice.
So Ken Babby gets the explanation.
Maybe the Canadian's getting the 5.
That's what I'm thinking.
Babby doesn't look happy at all. Yeah. You're right.
So Billy Bridges is in the box here.
He might be getting the 5 for butt ending, but that should be an automatic game ejection.
So now the Korean head coach, Min-Soo Han, gets the explanation.
Be nice if somebody gave us the explanation there, Victor.
Referee today is Kenneth Danielson of Norway.
Okay, well, the Norwegian coach seems happy.
The Korean coach seems happy.
Pardon me,
yep.
the Norwegian is you threw me off there. The Norwegian is the referee.
A lot of nations here in one game.
Yeah, it's the Korean coach seems happy, so I want to know what happened to Bridges. I'm thinking Bridges got 5 minutes. I'd love to know what for.
So waiting for the clock here to get set for dropping the puck again in the Korean zone. And another trip here over to the timekeeper's table for the referee, Danielson.
Remember, in an international competition like this, there's so many different languages going on that it sometimes takes a little to figure out what's going on. Well, Billy won't be happy about that because they had a delayed penalty. They were going on the power play. He's a huge part of their power play. We've already praised him. And now he's in the box.
Okay, so we're told Garrett Riley gets 5 minutes for spearing.
Okay.
And Lee will cover this up in the crease. And a bit of a crowd afterward.
That's old school Greg Westlake. He did that in 2000. Oh, that wasn't Westlake. That was Levin. And he's a bit of an aggressive player too. So definitely like to see that, especially when you haven't really played your game the way you want to. And this is where the goalie has to step up for himself. And I guess he's a very polite goalie because he hasn't done anything like that in the 2 games.
So Canada look to set it up here. Dixon plays it over to his left side and flies it wide. So at least for the time being, we are 4-on-4 right now, Canada and Korea. As Westlake filters it down low. There's a shot for Lavin. And Lee makes the save again, hangs on tight.
So I'm going to ask you a question and get your thoughts on this. Riley gets the 5-minute major. He's out of the game. That means somebody has to serve it on the ice. Why would Billy Bridges, one of their best players, be
I was just going to ask you the same question.
Served the 5-minute. That has thrown me right off because right there, somebody on the ice should be in the box, but not Billy Bridges for 5 minutes.
I didn't see the spear at all either from Garrett Riley, so your guess is as good as mine as to where it happened or when it happened.
Yeah.
As here's Jung the other way with lots of speed. He's erased from the play, though, by Tyrone Henry. And a big hit there from Henry that sent Jung crashing into the boards. As Armstrong picks it up and plays it over to his left.
I remember from the first game, Riley did not play. He was one of the scratches. This was his first game ever in Paralympic competition, and in the first period, he gets a 5-minute major for spearing, which more than likely will be a one-game suspension.
So back along the near side, drifts back to the line. Henry sweeps it in. Lee makes that save, and with pressure incoming, puts the glove on top for the whistle.
And the Koreans are going to get a 3-minute power play shortly. The other thing too is they don't play with a huge roster, so one guy down, especially if he gets a 1-game suspension, you definitely can't afford any injuries.
This one's looped back out to center and rolled all the way down the ice. So the two players out of the lineup today for Canada, defenseman Rod Crane and then forward Antoine Lehoux. It was Brandon Sisson and Garrett Riley who checked into the lineup after sitting out game 1 against the United States.
And then checked out very fast. There's a penalty. If that's against the Canadians, it's tough to tell what the...
Well, Dunn had the puck when the whistle blew.
Yeah.
So the call is interference.
Well, that should be the interference on the Korean player there. Dunn didn't do anything. Should be number 3 on Korea. And the play should not... Oh, it's away from the play.
Looks like Greg Westlake.
No, that's...
Nope.
I can tell by the face. Is that 22?
Oh, that's Riley on the right side.
That's Riley in the box?
That's Riley in the box. He got the 5-minute for spearing.
That should be an automatic game ejection.
Which is being served by Billy Britt. Paul, there's a lot going on here. There is a lot going on here in this first period.
I think this game might have gotten a little bit away from the Norwegian ref. I'm sure he's doing the best job he can, but
so it's a Korean power play at any rate, 4-on-3. The puck here is shoveled wide and covered back up by Dominic Larocque. So 12 seconds to go on the 4-on-3 for Korea.
But Bridges is in there.
So Bridges and Riley are both in the box right now, at least what we could see from that last shot.
Yes, but it had Bridges as serving the 5-minute. Riley should be
gone. That's right.
And then somebody got a penalty just...
We got to make some phone calls here, Paul. Get this sorted out.
Oh my God! Unless Riley just took this penalty and somebody else had the 5-minute major, and okay, we'll put a call in.
Siwoo Choi back to the ice. Now this is a 2-man advantage right now for South Korea for about a minute and a half. And Siwoo Choi goes all the way back into his own zone to pick this up. Jung muscles it ahead to center. What a golden opportunity this is for Korea to try and hit the score sheet against Canada.
Absolutely, 100%. You don't want to do something like that. Now Lavin just shoots it down the ice. Kill some time.
1 minute now to go in the 5-on-3. Round forward is Jong Kyung Lee. Lee up to center for South Korea. Passes over to his left side. Siwoo Choi. Played it back, loose in front. Dunn's got it. And pushes it to the line. Just onside. Turning around, Jung. Hands it off, gets it right back. Jung looking for the shot. Still with it, takes the shot. Larocque makes the save. And this one shoved all the way back out to center.
Big stop by Larocque. Especially that was his first shot on goal, so he's been resting for almost the entire period.
Skating it over the line. Sang-Hwang Jung lobs it in front, loose there for his second, but pouncing on top of it is Larocque just in time. With 2 seconds to go in the 5-on-3, he covers up.
I'm thinking, I really am, because Bridges has his helmet off. So he's serving the 5. This doesn't make any sense. Riley probably got, because he's getting ready to come on. He got the interference penalty. Somebody else got, I don't know who it is. We'll figure out.
Right.
Somebody else got the 5-minute for sparing, and it was thrown out of the game, and there was just a mix-up.
That makes the most sense to me.
So I haven't. Is there any player that we haven't recognized for the last little while? Liam Hickey, we're being told, got the 5-minute spare.
Well, he hasn't played in a little bit, so we're kind of assuming on that.
And that's, if that's the case, that is huge, because Hickey's a huge part of this game. And for him to get the 5-minute major for sparing be out of this game is one thing, Victor. But then to get a 1-game suspension in the semifinal,
right?
Wow.
Okay, there we go. Now it's updated. Liam Hickey. So they got the wrong number to start. They originally gave that spearing penalty to Garrett Riley. Now it's Liam Hickey who gets the 5 in a game. So Bridges in the box, and Garrett Riley's now out of there, as it's now a 5-on-4. Okay, we sorted it out before the end of the first 15 minutes of play.
I'm telling you, that was confusing.
There was a lot there to sort out. But we got through it, Paul.
We did. That's going to be tough down the road. Hickey is and he got the first goal in the Paralympic Games for Canada in 2022.
Final seconds of the first period. Korea's going to have a power play that will carry over into the second. Boy, a bit of a high event first period of play. Sees 2 goals for Canada, one from Liam Hickey, another from James Dunn. They spend the majority of the second half of the period shorthanded, but Canada prevail from the first period of play, up by 2.
The Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada. At Petro-Canada, we're proud supporters of Canada's coaches and athletes.
I think it's Robson who's got the stronger finish here. Shot just getting inside the gate. Now there's that smile again.
Train for your true calling with the Canadian Armed Forces. A message from the Government of Canada.
Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in mine, baby, don't ever look back. And we can build this dream together, standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Yeah, you're doing it slowly.
This really is the stuff of Olympic dreams.
Ryan, we have found that you have a condition known as Stargardt macular degeneration. There is no treatment.
Right. Tree.
Toyota. Start your impossible.
I'm here to prove that if you can see it, you can be it.
I survived cancer. The mountains, they don't scare me.
Losing my sight hasn't stopped me from going for gold.
When more of us play, more of us win. Visa, a network working for everyone.
by Toyota.
My name is Tyler McGregor, and I'm a para ice hockey player. Here's something you might not know about me. I was an extra in the movie Suicide Squad. They needed like one of the scenes, like one guy has his leg blown off. So we literally just like laid on the side of the road. I'm Tyler McGregor. Now you know I'm an actor.
Now you know, presented by Toyota.
There you go, Tyler McGregor. He's all-purpose for Canada. He's just the captain of the national team casually, as well as being an actor on the side, and looking to lead the charge here for Team Canada as part of this national team at Beijing 2022. First period of play is in the books, and it's a 2-0 lead for Team Canada. South Korea will start the second stanza on the power play. Speaking of Tyler McGregor, we are thrilled to have his parents joining us back from home. Trudy and Dean McGregor, thanks so much for joining us here on the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show. I know you'd probably rather be with Tyler right now watching in Beijing, so how has the experience been watching from home so far?
Pretty cool. We're just relaxing. We could almost watch in our pajamas.
I wish we could broadcast in our pajamas. That'd be a good deal.
No.
I don't know if people want to see me in my pajamas. let's not go there.
No.
Hey, Dean, going back to the first time I met you and Tyler, it was at Hockey to Conquer Cancer, if you remember that. I was sitting at a table. I was retired. You came up to me. You told me about your son. Tyler looked so excited to play the game. And, you know, let's fast forward a number of years. Not only is he on the team, he's one of the best players in the world and arguably a leader in all aspects of the game. How proud are you of your son?
Oh, very proud of him. He worked very hard at it to get where he's at, and he enjoys the game so much, and the players that he's working with or playing with. It's been quite an experience.
Yeah, so Trudy and Dean, I want to ask you this one both. We have had some incredible captains over the years in hockey, in the women's team, Haley Wickenheiser, the men's team, Gretzky and Lemieux, on the sled team, going back to great captains like Todd Nicholson and Jean Labonte. And your son is the captain of the Canadian team. That is going to be a true honor. Talk to us about what that means to you and what it meant when you found out.
Well, we were surprised. We knew he'd been working hard to do it, but he'd been really mentored by Greg along the way, and to make it extra special at mile zero, getting the captaincy at the Terry Fox Memorial.
And your thoughts, Trudy?
That was pretty special.
And now for the both of you, what do you hope that Tyler takes away from an experience like this?
Hope it's a learning experience for him that he can, in the future, help the players that are playing with him and mentor maybe the next captain along the way.
All right. Well, thanks so much for doing this, Dean and Trudy. Really appreciate you taking the time, and look forward here to seeing certainly more of your son, Tyler, as he leads the charge for Canada throughout Beijing 2022.
Okay. Thank you very much. Go Canada, go.
There you go.
All right, Paul, love to hear the support there from the parents and getting them involved in the show. And Tyler McGregor, a great captain. Oftentimes great captains come from great parents too, don't they?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. And, you know, the tough thing now, too, is the parents are not in the building.
Yeah.
It's been unprecedented that the parents cannot be there to celebrate with their kids.
All right, well, once again, thanks to Trudy and Dean McGregor for joining us on the show. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. You're more coming up on the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show as the first intermission continues on.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Scientifically formulated, so you never stop competing. Gatorade.
To tackle climate change, we all need to do our part. That's why the Government of Canada is taking action to help protect our environment. We're reducing plastic waste. We're making our homes and buildings more energy efficient. We're building a cleaner, greener economy. Find out how you can help leave a healthier environment for our kids and grandkids. A message from the Government of Canada.
Excited or are you scared?
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Courage. What we learn from play, we learn for life.
First win, but not the last. Check. Into the spotlight. Check. Injured and out. Check. Prove them wrong. Check. Worth it? Always. When you find what moves you, it gets you through.
You can now get anything delivered with Uber Eats, but take it from me, that doesn't mean you can eat anything you get. Burger, that is an eats. Paper towels, don't eats. Bottle of vino, eats by drinking. Nanas, eats every morning. Dog toy, don't eat unless you're a good boy. Toothpaste, that's a stumper. This game just got really hard. It's an eats, but it's a don't swallows.
Start your impossible. Toyota, proud sponsor of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
First intermission coverage here continuing on as we await the start of the second period between Team Canada and South Korea. So the stakes for today's game pretty straightforward, Paul. You win and you are into the semifinal. Canada expected to be the winners today. Though it wasn't exactly smooth sailing in that first period of play, was it, with some of the penalties there late?
Well, it started out that Korea was playing their game. They were bottling up the Canadians, and they were holding them to a 0-0 tie. As soon as Hickey scored that first goal and then Dunn scored the second, I thought it was going to open up and the Canadians going to take off. Then they got sloppy, and Liam Hickey takes a 5-minute spearing penalty, which could play out not great down the road. He's out of this game. He'll more than likely, if everything plays the way it has over the years, get a 1-game suspension by the IPC, and that could hurt. He's one of their best players.
So more on that in a bit, but first let's talk about the bright spot of that period for Canada. That being James Dunn. He assisted on the first goal that was off the stick of Liam Hickey, and then shortly thereafter ended up scoring one of his very own, just 21 years old, from Wallacestown, Ontario. What impresses you so much about this young man?
Well, the last couple of years have. When he played in the 2019 games that I called, I really liked his style. I liked the way he plays in the corners. He's got good speed. He plays a lot. He gets the puck to the guys on his line, and everybody seems, from the guys I know on the team, everybody seems to like him, and he's young, and that's the key to this game. You have to get the young players playing. He could be playing in the next 2-3 games like we talked about Declan Farmer.
Okay, so Canada will start this next period on the penalty kill, as it is a 5-on-4 here for South Korea. How does the dynamic of being short-handed for as long as Canada was there at the end of the first period sort of change the game? Like, does it typically, your best players are still some of your penalty killers, but does it change the flow a little bit when you're shorthanded for so long?
The biggest problem is your guys on the second and third line are not going to play a lot. And in para ice hockey, when you're sitting, you know, everything just tightens up in your shoulders and your arms, and this is what you need as opposed to able body hockey. When your legs, you can move around a little, but you're not really moving around on the bench with your arms. It's not going to affect the big name guys on the team, you know, the McGregors, and although Bridges it's going to affect, because I can't believe he's in the box for the 5 minutes. That was a huge mistake, a massive mistake. This is where we're seeing afterwards here. I don't think Hickey's such a nice kid. Oh, look at that. He never, I don't know there. I think
they gave him 5 for spearing.
Let's watch this clip. Oh, come on. You know, there's a lot of things about this game I love. There's a few things. I don't think the ref called it. I think the linesman came over to him. And I honestly think if there are Academy Awards in Korea, that gentleman is getting the Academy Award for the Faker Award. That is unbelievable. That's what you're throwing a guy out for, and if he gets an automatic, I'm pretty sure the Canadians will appeal that if he gets a suspension.
Yeah, I mean, boy, Liam Hickey gets 5 minutes for that, and that has put Canada in a shorthanded situation without one of their best players, likely for the semifinal as well.
I tell you, everybody in Newfoundland, Labrador that's watching that, they're going to have a shot of screech right now because they can't believe it.
So Canada start this period shorthanded, 40 seconds, 5-on-4 action or less for South Korea. We'll look to cash in on the power play as Larocque slides this one all the way down the ice through center. He clears that himself.
That's a smart play, very smart play by Dominic Larocque. Even though he's had next to no shots and didn't really get anything until the last minute of the play, he's still very, very smart. Oh, another good opportunity there, shorthanded.
Brief moment in front of the Korean net as it ends up into the neutral zone. So it's lobbed all the way back down. You know, frustrating call there for Canada to deal with Liam Hickey, but Paul, how important is it that Canada don't lose their head over that?
It's extremely important, and Westlake with a huge hit there, and Bridges comes back on the ice after sitting for 5 minutes. He won't be happy.
This one's handled over to the near side boards. No one claimed it for Korea. Back into the corner, Billy Bridges slips that out in front. There's a shot that was stifled in front. There's Ben Delaney pulling the trigger, still loose in front. Dunn gets some wood on it, goes all the way over to the far side. Back down low for Billy Bridges, finally back to the ice. That's a long time between the intermission and serving that 5-minute major for Billy Bridges here without getting ice time.
Especially from a guy like Bridges, who plays an enormous amount over the years and plays a power play, the penalty kill, a regular shift. He's not used to sitting for 5 minutes, especially when it's not his fault.
Here's James Dunn, back up the near side. And in over the lines, gathered back up by South Korea. Young-Sung Kim stripped at the puck as Dunn takes it in behind the net. James Dunn run in too hard by Kwang Hook Choi.
You know, one of the biggest changes for some of the Canadian guys that have been around for a few games that they'll have to adjust to. By the time the second and third game, there were 4 or 5 guys on the team that had 7-8 points. They didn't get a goal in the first game. There's 2 goals in this game, so some guys are...
Here's McGregor with his shot, flashing the leather as Lee knocked it down.
I think McGregor could have taken a few more strides in before letting that shot go.
Canada look to set it up again. Long-range shot, whistles wide. Back to the near side where it's stopped up by Jacobs Webb. And shoveled back off the boards by Korea out to center ice. Canada send it cross ice. And back into their own zone. Rob Armstrong trying to hold the line. Here comes Canada on the breakout. Handled ahead, now over the line is Riley. Left it behind. Chance developing, and the shot from Jacobs Webb carries just wide. Back to the far side again, Riley. Out there with Greg Westlake. So the 5-time Paralympian, flanked by a couple rookies in Riley and Jacobs Webb. This one goes for icing.
You know, I love these sweaters that the Canadians are wearing, these dark sweaters, but the dark numbers on the dark sweaters, somebody doesn't like us, Victor.
Play-by-play commentators don't design jerseys. I've learned that one.
Nice stop by Lee. He's actually made some really nice stops. And when you think about it, it still is Westlake snakebit. He normally has 2 or 3 goals by now. This is a real good shot by McGregor. I think if he gets a chance again like that, he'll take a few more strides in.
This one's lifted off the glass. Not out by Kwang Hook Choi. As the whistle sounds.
High stick.
Still 11:26 to go in the second period of play.
If you're on the coaching staff at Korea, you still have to find some positives here. It's still only 2-0.
Very much sticking around. It's a lot closer than it was at this juncture of the game against the United States. That's for sure.
Ken Babby does not look happy with some of the things going on the ice with the Koreans. And the way it looks, if everything plays out, and I know I don't want to go 3 days ahead, but if everything plays out, Canada should play Korea again in the semifinal, and there's going to be some bad blood. Hickey more than likely won't be in that game. It could be a rough one, especially as we get into the rest of the second and the third period, Victor.
So much for a nice, easy, straightforward group stage for Canada. It was not the start they wanted against USA, and then it's been an interesting affair here, to say the least, against Korea thus far. Never a dull moment as Rob Armstrong ranges all the way back into his own end. He wins the race. That'll be icing.
That's the high linesman called it icing. The low linesman waved it off, yet the high linesman blew the whistle. This game is got a little of everything in it, Victor. They're testing us here.
It's got a couple points in it too for James Dunn, with the goal and the assist. We'll set up for another face-off here on the glove hand side of Lee. Billy Bridges to take this draw for Team Canada, but it's won back by the Koreans. Sent off the boards and around to the far side. Trying to center it is Armstrong. Back over to the far side. Bridges cuts off his man along the wall. Bouncing puck in front. He lets it go all the way into the corner. Popped up. McGregor thrown into the boards by Seung Hwan Jung. Passes it back to the line, missed the target though, and all the way back it comes. The Rock will range well out of his net to play it. And a neat pass finds its way up to center.
Lee would have made it a little easier on his defenseman if he played that as opposed to letting it go in the corner.
Here's Dixon, sends it dangerously in front of the net for a moment. Canada look to set it up here again on the offensive end of the ice. This one's scooped back for Delaney. That one's fought off by Lee. And finally lifted out by the captain, Jong Ho Jang, all the way down the ice for Larocque.
That was a little tricky there.
That was Ji-Hyun Ryu in front of the net for Korea. Almost snapped that one away. Instead, Canada through center with it, just sweep it in the rest of the way. Near side. Choi off the boards to center. Settled down by Riley. Plays it over to Tyrone Henry. Henry. And over the line. Drops it back. Riley back in behind that the net now for Anton Jacobs-Webb. Jacobs-Webb curls around with it. Good pass up the middle, and it connects. James Dunn has another. He's played a factor in all 3 Canadian goals as it's a 3-0 lead for Canada.
That was a picture-perfect goal, an absolute beauty. And James Dunn is, he's saying to everybody, you know what, I know Hickey's a great player, but I'll do some stuff here. Great play here. Slip up play, and oh my God, Dunn just gets into the open spot, and immediately he lets that cannon go under the bar. Again, with the really nice hair, a la Jack Wallace.
That's right.
Got a lot of nice hair on the on these youngsters. Not that I'm jealous. I'm just stating a fact for everybody out there. And the Dunn family that's watching, maybe get a commercial for a shampoo company.
The youngsters coming alive here, Paul. That was assisted by Anton Jacobs-Webb and Garrett Riley, who gets his first Paralympic point with the secondary assist on that goal.
The kid line.
On the way back, down it comes. James Dunn making quite an impression. It's not his first impression. We saw that at Pyeongchang 2018, but he's looking like a player here so far in this tournament that we're going to hear a lot of for years to come.
Yeah, and I was very impressed with him, like I've said a few times, in 2019 in Ostrava in the World Championships.
It was in 2013 that Dunn decided to take up para hockey with some guidance from Tyler McGregor. They've known each other now for years. And it's turned out pretty well for Dunn so far.
Even when you think of that, 2013 he starts. It's 2022, and he's a dominant member of the Canadian team. If that isn't something for young boys and young girls out there that happen to be disabled and want to get a chance to play this great game of para ice hockey, and then maybe in a number of years represent their country in the Paralympic Games, I don't know what else is.
Now we've seen a variety of players, both young and old. There's a couple Koreans on this team that are almost 50 years old, including the backup goaltender, Hyuk-jun Choi, 49 years of age. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you see some really young players as well. Evan Nichols on the United States is just 17 years of age. Billy Bridges was just a kid when he started back in the late 90s.
14.
Locked up here on the far side. Canada take it away, hard shot up high. That one courtesy of Zach Lavin. Flagged down and held on to for the whistle.
You know, Lee has let in now 12 goals, yet if I'm Lee's goalie coach, I'm not upset with him. He's actually played quite well. He's made the stops that he's had to make.
Doing his best to keep Korea in the mix. They are currently down 3-0 to Canada.
Teamwork. What we learn from play, we learn for life.
South Korea talking things over in front of their own bench here with their head coach Min Soo-han, three-time Paralympian for the Koreans in 2010, 14, and 18 as a player. So won the bronze with them, then was actually the flag bearer for South Korea at the Paralympic Games, Vancouver 2010. So lots of playing experience there behind the bench with Min Soo-han, someone who's very familiar with a lot of these players as a teammate.
I actually played against them in my last
that's right, Vancouver 2010, right?
Yeah, my last little jaunt, I played against them.
South Korea back in their own zone here. Canada look to take it away. It's Bridges, sends it back to the line.
Delayed penalty.
Armstrong with a shot. And this puck bounces into the corner. And here is the call. Now we'll see if this gets interesting, Paul, or if this turns out to be a straightforward 2-minute minor.
Let's see if we can pick it up here. Could have been a slash on Delaney.
South Korean in the box, though. It is Kwang Hyuk Choi.
Holding an opponent. Learning a few things about new penalties here.
2 minutes, a 5-on-4, more or less, if Canada can convert their first power play of the game here after they killed off a number early on. Billy Bridges sends it in front for McGregor. Loose in front of the goal mouth for a moment. McGregor gathers it back up, looks to take the shot, it's blocked. Now Armstrong shields the puck away from pressure, plays it into the open slot, but it's quickly taken away by South Korea and fired down the length of the ice.
Billy Bridges' game has changed so much over the years. If that's 4 or 5 years ago, he rips that shot, maybe scores, maybe shoots wide. But now the unselfishness of number 18 and all those years, he slips it off for the potential goal by one of his teammates. And that's nice play there.
Another penalty upcoming here to the Koreans when they touch it up. Could see a 5-on-3 shortly for Canada as Bridges shrugs off the pressure. Looks for an option. Finds one with Armstrong, who takes the shot. And again, this puck, after hitting Lee, just rolls wide of the mark. And back to center it comes.
I'm sure at times Coach Babby would like them to give the puck to the Koreans so they could get a little chance at a 5-on-3. Although here we go.
Lavin ahead for McGregor, in by himself, and a big save for the Korean goaltender Lee. McGregor right back on it, maybe another shot, and that one's off the post. 2 looks for the Canadian captain, and they're still with it. Centered up the middle again by Dixon, and Armstrong has a shot denied by the blocker of Lee. Korea under fire here with 15 seconds to go in the 5-on-4. Maybe another shot as McGregor tried to slide it in front for Dunn. Finally, it's touched up by Siwoo Choi. And it'll be a very brief 5-on-3 for Team Canada.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the ref doesn't blow the whistle there on the goaltender save. He made the catching save and the blocker stop. And right there is, should be an opportunity. Here's a really nice play. Left, right, good stop by Lee. But look at this stick handling. Right stick, left stick, right stick. Tried to go low. Again, we've been talking about this the last 2 games. Lee is very good low. This is where you have to have some scouting. Tell the boys, you have to go high. You're not going to score on Lee low.
2 big saves from Jae-Woong Lee. The second was on Rob Armstrong. He got up there pretty high with the blocker to take it away. And South Korea are going to take their time out here and try and survive what's left of the minor penalties.
That's actually an extremely smart play. They've just been dominated for the last 25 seconds. They're extremely tired, and now they have to go another 2 minutes as a power play again. Only, I think, 11 seconds left in the...
9 seconds,
9 seconds? That was close. Math was never my big subject.
Don't let that fool you. It's never been mine either, Paul. So who knows the way this one's gone. We'll set up here for the offensive zone faceoff. 9 seconds indeed remaining on the 5-on-3. 4:57 to go in period number 2. 3-0 lead for Team Canada. South Korea win the faceoff, and the clearing attempt deflected off a body does get to center anyhow. And that'll do it for the 5-on-3. It is a 5-on-4 man advantage once again for Canada.
Huge win on that faceoff though.
About 1:45 to go on it. And Canada will set up. Out of the corner, it's Ben Delaney. Handles it back. And move toward the near side. Dixon back up high for Delaney. Up the middle. Takes the shot, and Lee makes another save as he fends it off. Into the corner it goes. Canada pick it up again. Westlake under pressure. Relieves it with a pass to Lavin. Spins right around, sends it in toward the goaltender Lee, and he gets the glove on top of that to cover up. Another save for Jae-Woong Lee.
He's made some big stops. A little bit of a tie-up in the corner with Westlake and the Korean. Their sleds were attached to each other. That happens a lot more than you would think. Great chance here. Good play there. Ben Delaney's come a long way in the last couple of years after being out of the action, not on the Canadian team.
One pair of bronze in Sochi 2014 at 17 years old. Was back for the pair of silver in 2018 and looking to make it a complete set of medals here in 2022. Is done in front of the net. He's locked up. And taken away by Jung on Korea. Nice move from Jung to find some open space. Here comes Sung Hwang Jung. Plays it all the way across into the near side corner. Off the board, Sang Hyun Park. He's the only one there for Korea. Oh, check that. That's Jung Kyung Lee.
Puck's behind him.
Just killing off valuable time here on the 2-minute minor. Under 30 seconds to go on the Canadian power play. And here they come. In over the line. Plenty of speed. McGregor tries to move it over. Instead, it's taken away by the Koreans and sent out to center again. Dunn collects it. Off the boards, and he gets it right back. James Dunn up the middle. Hangs onto it, slides it back. Armstrong across, and another big save from Lee as it hits the post as well. Bridges piles in, and Korea kill off the penalty and again get bailed out by their goaltender as the game stays 3-0 for Canada.
That was an absolute huge. Bridges there, nice sportsmanship. Taps Lee on the head and says, nice goal. That was an absolute beauty. Beauty passing play by the Canadians and an absolute incredible stop by Lee. Sorry about that.
Lots of chances here for Team Canada, but not many ways they've found so far to beat Lee in the Korean net. He's keeping this one close.
Take it all in. Show up early. Stay late. Live your passion. Get out. Get in. Do more. Hold. Get the bag. Keep one packed. Don't put it off. Because when we make it count, we rise higher.
So Greg Westlake out of that fracas gets the gate. 2 minutes for roughing. So Canada shorthanded again. As the Koreans will go to the power play, and another splendid save from their goaltender. Bit of luck though from the post as well to keep that puck out.
Yeah, he made the nice stop. It squeaked through a little, hit the post, and you have to be lucky to be a good goalie, and he definitely had some luck on his side there. Westlake comes in after the whistle and takes the 2-minute penalty for roughing. The Westlake family in Oakville, Ontario will not be happy seeing him in the box. You need Westlake on the ice to win.
South Korea back to the power play, looking to strike late in this second period. Up high. This one sent into the corner, bounces right back out. And directed back to the line again. Dongshin Jang moves it over. Off the boards, not out.
That was more of a shot than a pass. Tough to handle that one.
That one's fumbled at the line by Youngjae Cho. Forces Korea to tag up at center again here to get onside. Canada take their time, and it's rolled all the way down the ice.
Could have even killed another 10 seconds or so on that one. Nobody was coming in after him.
Youngjae Cho turns it around, and up ice now Siwoo Choi. This one's deflected right in on Larocque, and the sure-handed Dominic Larocque does the job again himself all the way down to center.
You know, the way Larocque moves the puck, he might be the first para ice hockey goalie to get a goal one time when the net is empty.
Here's a shot right in on Larocque again, and he makes that save.
You almost see every time he stops it, in this game anyways, he's looking for that opportunity to throw it down.
I don't know if we've ever seen a goalie goal in women's or men's Olympic hockey, let alone Paralympic hockey.
There's never been a goal in para ice hockey. I can buy a goalie, I'll tell you that much, because I've tried a few times back in the day.
Ever get close?
I could tell you yes, but I'd be lying to you, no.
Adam Dixon low in his own zone. He's going to lob this one all the way through center. Boy, just how much value does that add to Team Canada to have a goaltender like Dominic Larocque, who's not afraid to play the puck and is so good at it too?
It's massive. It's like Martin Brodeur used to do for the New Jersey Devils. It calms everything down. It takes a lot of pressure off the defense. The transition game from defense to offense is incredible.
Carey Price, long time as well, one of the best players of the puck too, and
absolutely
forever one of the greats to tend the goal for Team Canada.
We've had some great ones in Canada over the years. Westlake back on the ice, Victor.
Under a minute to go in period number 2. And still a 3-0 lead for Canada. Boy, they've had their chances, though, to try and break this game open. They might have another one right here off the turnover. Lavin sends it high. And to the line. Canada retreat back into their own zone. Young-Sung Kim launches a shot. Well off the mark, off the glass.
Lavin was very lucky he didn't take 2 for elbowing on that one.
Here's Garrett Riley. Hands it ahead for Westlake. Made a move into open space, had the puck slide away from him though. Played over to the far side. Sharp angle shot, no problem for Lee, and he smothers that with a little over 2 seconds remaining on the clock.
Tell you one thing, when the Koreans go into the dressing room after this period, that's a terrible play there. But Lee has been the guy that's kept this game at 3-0. So there's a lot of good to take away from both teams. Both teams can find out positive and they can take away negative from these first 2 periods.
Of the 4 exhibition games Canada and Korea played back in November, the closest result was a 7-0 win for Canada. They did that twice, so for Korea to come away with anything better than that would certainly be a win for them. 1 goal in this period. Again, James Dunn managed to strike twice. Liam Hickey had the first goal. Dunn has a hand in all 3, 2 goals and assist. And after 2 periods of play, it's Canada on top, 3-0.
The Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada. At Petro-Canada, we're proud supporters of Canada's coaches and athletes.
I think it's Robson who's got the stronger finish here. Shot just getting inside the gate. Now there's that smile again.
Train for your true calling with the Canadian Armed Forces. A message from the Government of Canada.
Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in mine, baby. Don't ever look back. And we can build this dream together. Standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna stop us now. Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Yeah, you're doing it slowly.
This really is the stuff of Olympic dreams.
Ryan, we have found that you have a condition known as Stargardt macular degeneration. There is no treatment.
Right. Tree.
Toyota. Start your impossible.
I'm here to prove that if you can see it, you can be it.
I survived cancer. The mountains, they don't scare me.
Losing my sight hasn't stopped me from going for gold.
When more of us play, more of us win. Visa, a network working for everyone.
Welcome back into the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, presented by Petro Canada. Second intermission. Victor Finley here with Paul Rosen. 3-0 lead right now for Team Canada over Korea after 2 periods of play. And we're thrilled now to welcome in to join us on the broadcast from the Canadian National Women's Para Ice Hockey Team, Claire Buchanan. Claire, thanks for doing this. Everyone's got a fascinating backstory in terms of how they got involved with Para Ice Hockey. So I guess in a bit of a nutshell, can you explain yours and what your involvement has been with Hockey Canada and the national women's team over the last few years?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me on. Hockey was my first sport that I tried as a kid. My mom got me into every sport possible growing up, and it was the first sport that I got to fall in love with. And now I've been on the women's national team for 7 seasons now, and just trying to do as much as I can to push the game forward and get us into the games one day.
Hey, Claire, Paul here. We've had the chance to get to know each other, be on the ice before together. Talk to us about the atmosphere amongst the women on the Canadian team. You know, I've played a number of years, and the camaraderie and the family atmosphere in the room and on the ice. Talk to us about that.
It's honestly a second family. It's a group of people that I consider sisters, and we just went right at 2 years without seeing each other, and it was incredible to be back on the ice together and be around your second family. It's you do so much for the sport, and you're constantly grinding it out, and being able to be around each other again was incredible.
Yeah, and you know, I am a big fan of the women's team. I want you guys, you know, your assistant coach, Derek Whitson, was a teammate of mine for years. I want you guys in the Paralympic Games. It's not going to happen in 2026. Talk to us about the plans for 2030 and where you want to be with this program.
Absolutely. So right now, there are 3 international women's teams that currently have teams. It's us, Canada, USA, and Great Britain has a program together right now. But in order for us to get into the 2030 games, we need a World Championships tournament with 8 teams, and that way we can kind of have the path to the games. But at the end of the day, we need more programs internationally to help develop the women's game in their country, so that we can have that goal of being in the Paralympic Games one day.
Now, for the viewers watching at home, you know, I wonder if maybe there's a couple young girls out there who are watching this and want to get involved, you know, in their own right. So what about those people that are looking to get involved, maybe people looking to support the Canadian National Women's Para Ice Hockey Team? How do people get involved, and how can they help?
Hockey Canada is a great supporter of us through the Hockey Canada Grassroots Foundation. We hold try-it events and development camps anywhere we have a training camp, and we try to grow the game across the country. And there is a sledge hockey team in a lot of cities across the country, and it's just a matter of getting that exposure out there and having the communities know that it's even an option. So if you know of a sledge hockey organization or someone with a disability that's looking to play the game, just it's important to have those conversations so that the people in the community just know that it exists and that we are here trying to grow the game.
Wonderful. Well, we hope to see the women at the Paralympics sometime soon. Thanks so much for doing this, Claire. Really appreciate you giving us some of your time.
Yeah, thank you guys. I know, Paul, every time we speak, you guys are a huge supporter of our game and trying to move it forward. So again, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
Once again, Claire Buchanan of the National Women's Para Ice Hockey Team. So, Paul, we get a bit of a window there into what's happening with the National Women's Team right now. Haven't seen them at the Paralympics yet, but how many dealings have you had with the National Women's Team over the years?
Well, I've been on the ice with Claire many times, and like I said, Derek Whitson, the assistant coach I played with for a number of years. I want people out there in Canada, if you get an opportunity to see the women's team practice, train, play against the United States, I don't care where, get out there and support them. That's the only way young girls, whether they're in Surrey, BC, or, Corner Brook, Newfoundland, Toronto, it doesn't matter. They deserve the right to play in the Paralympics, just like I had the right, Victor. I'm really fired up about this. Let's get the women playing in the Paralympics.
I love the enthusiasm, Paul, and let's get fired up now for the third period for Canada and Korea. It's pretty closer than we expected here so far after 2 periods of play. 3-0 lead for Canada. We'll be back with some more analysis in the start of the third period when we return on the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Scientifically formulated, so you never stop competing. Gatorade.
To tackle climate change, we all need to do our part. That's why the Government of Canada is taking action to help protect our environment. We're reducing plastic waste. We're making our homes and buildings more energy efficient. We're building a cleaner, greener economy. Find out how you can help leave a healthier environment for our kids and grandkids. A message from the Government of Canada.
Excited or are you scared?
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Courage. What we learn from play, we learn for life.
First win, but not the last. Check. Into the spotlight. Check. Injured and out. Check. Prove them wrong. Check. Worth it? Always. When you find what moves you, it gets you through.
You can now get anything delivered with Uber Eats, but take it from me, that doesn't mean you can eat anything you get. Burger, that is an eats. Paper towels, don't eats. Bottle of vino, eats by drinking. Nanas, eats every morning. Dog toy, don't eat unless you're a good boy. Toothpaste, that's a stumper. This game just got really hard. It's an eats, but it's a don't swallows.
Start your impossible. Toyota, proud sponsor of the Olympic and Paralympic Games.
Welcome back to the Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show. Victor Finlay here with Paul Rosen. Okay, Paul, 2 periods are in the books. It is 3-0 Canada. I think this game has been a little bit closer so far than all of us could have anticipated. And how much of that has to do with the goaltending for Korea today?
I think a lot of it. This has been a crazy game. Some crazy penalties. Liam Hickey thrown out of the game. Who knows what's going to happen with him in the next game? Will he get suspended for the potential rematch against Korea in the semifinal? But everything has happened good for the Koreans with Lee in goal. He's made some incredible stops. Now, he's got 15 more minutes to do it, and Canada could dominate this last period. But Right now, there's things that the Canadian team has to clear up. They have to stop getting sloppy in the offensive zone, and they have to stay out of the box. Like, this is not going to help them down the road against the U.S., which they're going to play the U.S. in the gold medal game if they're there. So they really have to cut the sloppiness down. Westlake's penalty, something he probably shouldn't have done. I'm going to give, like, we both saw it. There's no way that Liam Hickey gets a 5-minute major there. And the other thing that really still bothers me, and there's a lot of things that have bothered me tonight, and you're going to get passion from me, is how does Billy Bridges serve that 5-minute major? I'm baffled by that.
Right. Well, for Canada here, Paul, there's not a whole lot of time for them to try and sort things out if they've got some kinks to iron out in their game a little bit, because if they win this game, which it looks like they will, they'll move straight on to the semifinal. So how important is it that Canada go out here and have a really good third period?
It's critical because they have 2 days off, and 2 days off in a tournament. This tournament's been thrown totally upside down because of RPC being thrown out. So now they're going to have 2 days off. You can practice all you want. It's not like a game. So Coach Babby I guarantee, has been telling these guys, let's move the puck around. Let's be smart. Let's stay out of the box. And I really, really hope they look to get James Dunn his hat trick, because there's nothing better than a hat trick in a Paralympic Games.
Okay, Paul, you're fired up. I'm fired up. Let's go. Third period between Canada and Korea. Final period of regulation of the group stage for these two teams. USA have already won Group A. Has a big early save there from Lee with the blocker. Starts us off here in period number 3. Of course, winner of this game moves on to the semis. The loser will play in the quarters.
Absolutely, and there always is a player of the game after the tournament. We haven't had a chance. Here's another penalty.
This will be against Korea.
So this is a chance for Canada to move the puck around. There's always a player of the game. Like I said, we haven't had a chance to see the player of the game yet this tournament. If it's not Lee, I am going to be absolutely frantic. Great blocker stop there. And you know what I like? Lee just gave a little blocker shot there.
I was going to bring that up, Paul.
He's starting to get a little, you know what, I've had enough of this.
You must be getting through to him.
I'm trying my best. Despite the fact they're playing Canada, you know, I still am a card-carrying member of the Goaltenders Union.
So Dongshin Jang, who had the bronze medal winning goal from Pyeongchang 2018, sits in the box for holding. And Canada to the power play. Lee with another quick save here, just 12 seconds into it. He hangs on for the whistle.
I would much rather see the Canadians move the puck around as opposed to taking that long shot from the blue line. We all know that the defense on the Canadian team all have good shots from the blue line. This is your opportunity to get yourself prepared for the semi and then ultimately for the gold medal game. Move it around, isolate. Bridges hasn't got it. You have to get Billy Bridges on the scoreboard if you're going to win a gold medal.
Yeah, that's the one thing here that Canada hasn't had yet in this tournament, Paul, is offense from the big names. It's been all James Dunn in this one with the 2 goals and an assist. The first goal, the tournament first goal of the game here for Canada, courtesy of Liam Hickey. As Billy Bridges sends this one all the way back, errantly to center ice.
Yeah, it's the puck just isn't going the way they want it to.
Here's Bridges, turns back. From Dunn, Bridges plays it back over in front. Dunn ends up stopping that. It was loose at the side for a moment. And the Koreans try and gather it back. Kwang Hyuk Choi only has 1 stick. McGregor slides it out in front. Here's Delaney. Oh, and he goes the opposite way and across his body, just misses. Delaney's had a bunch of opportunities today. As Canada will set it up again, up high in the zone. McGregor passes off for Delaney, turns around. Looking to connect with McGregor. Instead, back off the boards to the line. Dixon slides it up high. Bridges the shot, bounces around, doesn't get through. A log jam here along the line. Dixon does well to keep it in. Plays it ahead in front. Another save from Lee. Follow-up attempt is stopped as well. Bridges loose in front. Couldn't tuck it home for Canada.
You know what, if I'm the coach of the Korean team now, I'm going absolutely nuts on the bench. 3 guys went to the puck on the blue line which left two. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them, and they leave.
That's McGregor in front.
McGregor all alone. Big stop. Dixon looks up. He goes, oh, my God. Throws it in. McGregor, big stop. Rebound comes out, and then leaks out the rebound. Another big stop, again by Bridges. Wow.
Another couple looks for Canada on the power play. They've still got 15 seconds left in it. Garrett Riley shoves it over for Lavin. Lavin back to the line, and the pass doesn't hit. Goes all the way through center. That's going to do it for the Canadian 5-on-4.
Well, you know, the optimist might say that over the years, the Canadians have dominated the first 2-3 games. You know, a guy like Billy Bridges has had 9-10 points. McGregor's had 8-9 points. Maybe this is the year that they go into the gold medal game with very few points, but have that huge game in the gold medal game, and it'll all be forgotten if they have a big game on that Saturday.
Well, you look at the script from Pyeongchang 2018. Canada opened up 17-0 against the Swedes. Then they won 10-0 against Italy, 8-0 against Norway, 7-0 against Korea in the semis, and then lost 2-1 to the United States in overtime in the gold. So the margins got slimmer and slimmer and slimmer as the tournament went on.
Maybe this is the year that it's a reverse for the Canadians.
Dongchen Zhang pickpocketed. Centering pass from Jacobs Webb and smothered by Lee in the crease. He gets the whistle here with 11:30 to go in the third period.
Lee has seen more rubber than 401 on a bad winter day.
And I think he's going to see a lot more here too, Paul, before this game is through.
And Lee doesn't get the opportunity to rest for 2 days to see Canada again. They have to play a sudden death quarterfinal game, and they better hope it's not against China, because China's looking good.
They've won both their games thus far in Group B. That's been the real entertaining group. High level of unpredictability with China, Italy, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic. 3 of those 4 teams will be on to the quarterfinals. We know China's in the quarters. It's a question of the Czechs, Italy, and Slovakia. 2 of those 3 teams will be moving on to the next round.
I've been very fortunate to call a lot of games over my career since I retired, and I have never seen the Chinese team play. I am hoping we get a chance to see them in the semifinal. It'll be great for the game.
What a story that would be if China get through to the semi, guaranteed to play for a medal on home ice.
That's what the game's all about.
Just like Korea did at home in 2018, their first and only Paralympic medal to this point, a bronze. Got a couple world championship medals. That included a silver in 2012. They made it all the way to the final that year before losing to the United States. There's Canada through the middle. And Delaney passes off in front, scores! On the tip, Billy Bridges finally cashes in. Canada's up by 4.
Well, I tell you, there's some guys that are just great in front of the net, and Bridges is one of them. And going back to the day with the great Brad Bowden, Bridges and Bowden and myself used to go to the rink for hours, and Brad Bowden would take hundreds of shots. Bridges would stand in front of me and deflect them continuously. And this is what, a beautiful pass. Bridges deflects it into the net. And we talked about this almost like they were listening to us. We talked about it. Bridges has to get on the scoreboard. Look at that beautiful smile. He has to get on the scoreboard to get this team going. He has to get the monkey off his back. I'm sure Sammy Jo Small right now is jumping up and down in Mississauga, Ontario with her daughter, Kenzie.
So is it more elation or relief for Billy Bridges to finally get one through like that? Before you answer that, another chance upcoming here for Dunn as he zips that one wide.
I think it's a little of both, to be honest with you. He's happy and he's relieved.
So 4-0 with a little over 10 minutes to go in this third stanza for Canada. Korea looped this one back over to the near side.
Has Korea had a shot on goal?
Not this period.
in the game. If they have had one, it hasn't been a tough one.
Back in the first period, the Rock made at least one when there was a Korean power play. It's been a while, though, since he's seen rubber. And over the line, Chez developing again, and this time for Dunn, goes back and forth, and somehow it stays out. Lee making the saves and getting the bounces as Dunn tries to settle it again, and Lee sprawls out to take this one away too, and hangs on tight.
Well, if Lee can see it down low, now Bridges' goal was down low, but it was a deflection and the net was wide open. If Lee can see it down low, it's going to be stopped.
Well, Lee takes another one away from James Dunn, but Canada does have a breakthrough, courtesy of Billy Bridges. 4-0 for Team Canada here in the third.
Hey, the gold medal event's on soon.
It is?
Yeah.
The event's about to start!
Or we can just watch it on the 5TV app.
Watch anywhere on any device with the 5TV app.
So Billy Bridges, the goal scorer in the third here for Team Canada, as Korean coach Min-Soo Han going head-to-head with Canadian coach Ken Babby today. And this group stage matchup, this might be a matchup we could very well see again, Paul, in the semifinal. Could be a chippy one, given the context of what we've seen so far in this game. Cross-ice pass, hit the mark. Rob Armstrong, a decent look as Lee made the save.
And that'll be the 32nd shot. And 30, I want to explain this to people that haven't seen para ice hockey yet. 32 shots. Oh, there's
what a
I thought that was in. It
wasn't.
wasn't. It wasn't.
Right through the top shelf. It's Tyler McGregor in front on the doorstep. No chance for Lee to bring that one back. And Canada's got two in the third. They're up 5-0.
And you see Bridges and McGregor talking. Those are two very important goals if you're a Canadian fan. You want to see McGregor hit the scoreboard. You want to see Bridges. And McGregor put it in and out so fast. Thankfully, the referee was in a good spot to see that go in and out because the Koreans didn't think it went in. Absolute beauty. McGregor's on the boards. I know his parents are going to be happy. We get a chance to talk to them tonight. Bridges is happy. Everybody in Canada is happy that the monkey is off number 8 and number 18's back.
Tyler McGregor, originally from Forest, Ontario. Mom and Dad, Dean and Trudy, watching back at home.
I remember the first time I met him at Hockey to Conquer Cancer. Kevin Shea from the Hall of Fame. What a great guy, what a great project. The young man, look where he's come in such a short time.
Canada's top scorer from the last two World Championships in 2019 and 2021. Lee Smothers-Ish and McGregor, an interesting story where his background is in able-body hockey. He's well played at a pretty high level, at the U16 level with the Lambton Junior Sting, and was at one point hopeful of making an OHL roster.
He was a prospect, a very high prospect. Look at that shot. Absolute beauty. Well, he's watching, he turns back and goes, wow, I'm not bad. And he's not bad. Another guy I'm happy I didn't get a chance to play against.
Tyler McGregor was actually teammates with Matt and Ryan Rupert back with the Lambton Junior Sting. Both those players went on to play with the London Knights in the Ontario Hockey League.
Great organization, Hunter Brothers.
Here's James Dunn in front of the net, drives right into the crease, and Lee flops on top of this to deny Dunn of the hat trick.
They are trying very hard. Look at Babby's smile there. They're trying so hard to get Dunn that hat trick. Takes it outside, cuts in, left hand to right hand, and that is a huge, huge change from back in the day. Very few people just sitting there. One of his teammates says, lay down, and he lays down. But a huge difference. All the players can go right hand, left hand under the sled. That's that blown down, yeah. Glove pass, Westlake tries to get away with it, but doesn't. Whistle's going to come outside.
So
The last 3 minutes, Victor, the Canadians have really started to move the puck around. You know, I started talking about the shots on goal, and the Canadians now have 32, maybe 33 now. So those of you that are out there watching for the first time in para ice hockey, 32, 33 shots in sled hockey is unbelievable. It's kind of equivalent to maybe 50 in able-body hockey because so many shots get blocked in front of the net. So to have 32, 33 go through, that's a huge, huge number. And the goaltender for the Koreans, Lee, he's going to be extremely tired. He'll be in the ice bath for sure tonight.
Do you remember how many the most was that you faced at a game as Jung takes a shot? There's the first action in a while for the Rock as he feels it with the glove.
I do. It was a gold medal game in 2006 in Torino, Italy. We were outshot 26-11, and I was exhausted. You got to remember, I was 46 years old too to have 20-something shots. I think it was 29. Pretty sure it was 29. I'm sure somebody on Twitter is going to let me know whether it was 29 or not.
What matters is that it was a shutout.
It was. I got the ring here to prove it.
That's right. That was the first shutout by a Paralympic or Olympic goaltender for Canada in a gold medal final.
Ever.
Or Shannon Sabados went on to do it, then Carey Price in 2014. That's a good trio.
Sabados did it twice. Great goaltender.
This one's offside at the Korean line.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm really proud of. Price and Sabados and myself all have it, but I'm the first. So
no one can take that away. There can be a lot of goaltenders at the end of the day that have shutouts in gold medal finals, but there can only be one that did it first.
Absolutely. And what a great team I played with. Great defense. John Labonte, Graham Murray, some incredible players on that team. Great coaching, too. Jeff Snyder, if he's watching, best coach I ever played for. Coached the Kitchener Rangers in the O. Uncle of Dan Snyder, the late, great Dan Snyder.
So we'll bring this one back into the Korean zone. And Paul, I'm sure from all those years playing with the national team, whether it was at World Championships, exhibition games, or Paralympics, you still keep in touch with an awful lot of teammates, I would imagine.
Absolutely. It's a close-knit group, and we do text each other on March 18th almost every year to talk about that big win, March 18th, 2006.
There's a centering pass intended for Delaney. Goes back to the line. On the near side wing, just by the faceoff dot, it's Bridges who carries it down low. Canada hoping that they'll have another date to text about years down the line from 2022 in Beijing.
That's what it's all about. The women have done it so many times, and it's an incredible feeling that you have forever. Nobody can ever take that title of Olympic or Paralympic champion away from you.
Hustling it over the line, McGregor with his shot. That's redirected wide. Back over to the far side.
A bit of a dirty shot there.
Claimed at center by Canada. Bae-Suk Choi takes Tyrone Henry out along the boards.
And some help from the Korean coach telling him where the puck is. Never seen that before.
Trying to muscle it in over the line. Henry couldn't shoot it. Clambers back to gather control and now dumps it in successfully. First to it is Young Jae Cho. Breakout pass, misses the mark. So there will be a race for it the other way. Dominic Larocque says, I've got a head start on everyone, so I'm just going to play that over.
Absolutely. And you know, one of the big differences, too, that happens in this game as opposed to the able-bodied game is on the bench. You know, the bench is ice on the bench so the players can move around. There's no benches there. And as you see, all the coaches are up front because there's so much room with the short amount of players as opposed to an able-bodied team. And in the NHL or any type of hockey, able-bodied hockey, the coaches are behind the bench. Here they're in front because there is no bench.
Chance developing for Canada. McGregor with another shot. Big save from Lee. McGregor looking for another. And this one's lifted up and out of the Korean zone. And
great hustle.
Reels that one in too. Problems in front. Jung takes it away. but lost his balance.
He got too excited there and fell over backwards. If he stays up, he has the empty net.
Jung was the goal scorer for Korea against the United States in their 9-1 loss.
Oh, he would have been so excited with scoring on Canada and the U.S.
Siwoo Choi centers it. No shot. Instead, it's nudged back to Kwang Hyuk Choi. He plays it into the far side corner. Young Sung Kim. Back down for Sung Hwan Jung. And this one smothered for the whistle by LaRock.
That was a smart play by LaRock to say, okay, boys, getting a little sloppy here. I made the stop. Let's just take it easy, take a timeout.
Canada still in control here in the third. They lead 5-0.
Teamwork. What we learn from play, we learn for life.
Jang Woong Lee has been terrific between the pipes today for South Korea. Takes another one away from Tyler McGregor, who does have a goal and an assist in this game. See 11 shots so far in the tournament, the majority of which have come against Korea. But the night is over for Jae Woong Lee as the swap is made to put in Hyuk-jun Choi, 49 years old, of Pohang, Korea.
I tell you one thing, Victor, I have seen a lot in my career as a player and a broadcaster. I have never seen this one. Lee is playing great. They're only 15-minute periods, and they make the change with 4 minutes left to put the backup goalie in. I just don't get this one.
And he might get tested right away by Lavin. He turns back instead. Almost deflected on net. So I would imagine the Korean rationale here is that they want to rest Lee.
For 4 minutes?
Right, that was my point there. How much does that really make a difference if he sits out the last 4.5 minutes of the third rather than plays it?
And if they were going to do that, sit him in the third period. That doesn't make sense. It didn't look like he was hurt. He made every stop. He played incredible. They'll definitely need him in that quarterfinal game. I'll guarantee you that.
This game has provided us with a couple quizzical moments throughout. Always keeps us guessing.
It's been interesting. I definitely hope the next game Canada plays, they don't wear dark on dark jerseys.
Here's Lava with a shot that hits the outside of the post. Delayed penalty upcoming. Canada corral it for the meantime. They'll complete a change here as well. McGregor up the middle in front, redirected wide by Westlake. And finally caught up to by Ji-Hyun Yu. And the penalty here is made.
As much as we've been surprised tonight, I'll guarantee the backup goalie for the Koreans, when he got the nod that you're going on with 4 minutes and change, he was more surprised than anybody. 30 seconds in, he gets a shot, an absolute beauty by Greg Westlake on him, makes the save, and now he's got to kill a penalty.
So Sang-Hyun Park is in the box for Korea.
Park is definitely a veteran. He's got that grizzled look to him.
48 years old. And 3:18 to go here in period number 3. Canada look to set it up. McGregor again has that one sent away.
Here's a chance to get James Dunn his hat trick.
Dixon moves it over for McGregor. That's done right in front of the net.
That's where they want him.
And Bridges is on the far side. Passes over to Dixon from long range. Dixon sends that one high. Now here's McGregor. Tyler McGregor over to Dixon. Dixon's got a look. And lunging out to make the save is Hyuk-jun Choi. He'll get the whistle too.
I heard a loud scream there. I wasn't sure if that was a goal or not.
Well, we just heard the goal horn in the background.
Yeah, I think they threw him off, the goal judge. Great play by Adam Dixon. Team Canada.
Okay, so that was certainly not a goal. I was questioning myself there for a minute.
Yeah.
as Team Canada has taken their time out here.
And you got to remember, too, it's tricky when a backup goalie comes in anytime. But when a backup goalie comes in at the last second like he did with 4 minutes left, you could see him trying to get loose. I don't know. I'm going to take a wild shot and say that maybe something happened with Lee. He tweaked something, and when they had that last time out, he said to the coach, hey, listen, maybe my back or my hip is a little sore, and they said, we're not taking a chance, and made the change. Other than that, it doesn't make any sense. I like the timeout by Babby here because it gives the Canadians, even though they're up 5-0, and some purists might say, why does he need a timeout at 5-0? Perfectly, he needs a timeout because this is a chance to work on their power play, which they're going to get a chance to use in the semi or the final, and you have to be on all pages. It's one thing to work on it in practice. It's another thing to do it in a game.
Right, and because of COVID and now RPC not being in this tournament, one game less for Canada, they haven't had a whole lot of games in the run-up to this tournament. Every minute, every game counts.
Absolutely, 100%. You're coaching to win a gold medal, not to make friends.
Great play here by Dunn as he hounds the puck down, tried to wrap it in, and Bridges now handles it down low. Plays it over for Dixon, slides it right in, and there it goes into the back of the net.
Dunn's hat trick.
It looks like Dunn poked it through.
Dunn did.
And the young 21-year-old from Wallestown, Ontario, has 3 for Team Canada.
I tell you one thing, James Dunn will remember this night forever. March the 7th, 2022, James Dunn, and it's all done because James gets his hat trick.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Dunn, the last to touch it.
And you know, went in, and that's all that matters. But this is just inexperience. Lee puts his hand on it immediately. Young goalies out there, when you stop the puck with your stick, keep your stick down and get that glove hand on it. Do never lift that stick up to put your glove down, because what happens is James Dunn or anybody else pokes it in. Keep the stick on the ice, young goalies, whether you're sled hockey goalies or able-bodied goalies. Never lift that stick up.
And now they're going to have another look at this one, Paul.
Oh, I don't care what they're looking at. This is a goal. He's immediately coming back, and take your mask off, and there you go. This is 100% a goal. That was just a bad play by the goaltender. Inexperience, lifted his stick up, Dunn put it in. Absolutely, 100%.
Right, I think they were checking that to see if the goaltender had it covered first, but clearly from our view there in the replay, he didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why it ends up in the back of the net, and James Dunn has 3. Here's another look.
Never, ever lift that stick up. Keep it down. Like old Howie Meeker used to say, 2 hands on your, well, you can't put 2 hands on your stick here. So forget about that one. that doesn't apply to sled hockey. Keep the stick on the ice, kids.
Westlake is going to get waved out of the face-off circle. So McGregor steps in to take this against Jung Kyung Lee.
Two players of the game are Lee from Korea and Dunn from Canada. That's a guarantee.
And nice to see some of the vets get in on the scoring action here too. Tyler McGregor and Billy Bridges each have 1 in this 3rd period for Team Canada.
And Liam Hickey seems like a long time ago started this off before he went to the showers.
Yeah, we've had a lot transpire between then and now.
This has definitely been an interesting game, and it will only get more interesting if Canada and Korea meet up again in the semifinal.
So minute 25 here to go in the 3rd. Canada will skate to their first victory. Beijing 2022 as Westlake takes a shot that floats high. Wasn't the most straightforward of group stage victories for Canada, but it is a win nonetheless. Got some time on special teams, both short-handed and with the man advantage tonight. As Jung skates in behind the net. Pickpocketed by Westlake, reeled in by Larocque, and he covers that up with 52.9 seconds to go in the 3rd.
Larocque hasn't been tested, but the few times he has been tested, he's shut the door, and that's sometimes the hardest thing as a goaltender when you're playing in a game where you're not going to get a lot of chances. You just have to make the stops when they come. There might only be 3-4 chances, and you might be falling asleep and singing some songs in your crease. That's what I used to do. I used to sing all the time when I have a game where I was just falling asleep. Stay up.
Here's Riley now. He takes a long-range shot. Paralympic debut for Garrett Riley. He drew an assist. So he's up to at least one Paralympic point now in his young career. Is Anton Jacobs-Webb, another rookie. Playing his second game at the Paralympics tonight. Plays it over. Shot incoming from Riley. Good save is made. Riley vying for his first Paralympic goal right there from close range.
I kind of felt bad for the Riley family that are watching back home. They thought for about a minute or two that their son was being kicked out of the game for a spear. My son's not dirty, and yeah, he's not. Either is Liam Hickey. That was a phantom penalty.
All it's all for naught anyway, as Canada managed to come away from this unscathed. Shutout victory for Dominic Larocque, and overall Canada take this convincing fashion on the score sheet by a 6-0 final. Paul, big takeaway from this game for you tonight is?
James Dunn. Young kid, he's got a great future ahead of him. He's got a hat trick, which is absolutely huge. The fact that some of the big name guys didn't get a chance to get their 5, 6, 10 goals that they normally have in the preliminary round. It's a different year. So many things have happened. Only 2 games they played, and now they're ready for the semifinal. They have to take the good things out of this game, and the good things were the young players played well, and ultimately they're going on to the semifinal game.
And 6-time Paralympian Billy Bridges finally got on the score sheet as a goal scorer for Canada as well. 37 years of age, originally from beautiful Summerside, Prince Edward Island. And if Canada has any intention of winning a gold medal in this tournament, how important will it be for them to get production from Billy Bridges?
It's critical, and his goal was beautiful. A nice deflection. He had the empty net. He didn't panic. Billy Bridges comes up big when he needs to come up big. The team is playing much better.
So Bridges gets a goal. Tyler McGregor gets a goal as well in the third period for Team Canada. Even though the Canadians did have to deal with a little bit of adversity in this game, Paul, you mentioned the 5-minute spearing call that was given to Liam Hickey, a bit of a phantom call. But does it do Canada well to overcome a little bit of adversity in this game where they must have been frustrated by some bad penalty calls and then by a really hot goaltender as well for Korea that was tough to beat?
There's no doubt about it. And the way a tournament, especially a short tournament, goes, you know, you've been around the game, is that adversity happens. And it's not how you handle things when everything's going all beautiful. It's how you handle things when things aren't going great. And they did. They had some bad penalties. They had some things happen to them. Hickey gets thrown into the game very early. But what do they ultimately do? Deep breath, good coaching, good goaltending. They win the game 6-0. They're moving on. They have a few days to work on practices, get in the video room with video coach Steve Arsenault, get things prepared for that semifinal. I'm going to say it's going to be against, unless there's a huge upset, it's going to be against the Koreans again. And then the main thing is you've played and you've trained for 4 years for that ultimate gold medal game against the U.S.
All right, let's have a look at the updated bracket as it stands right now. So we know Canada's booked their express ticket through to semifinal number 2. South Korea will play in quarterfinal number 2. Of course, the United States of America, they wrapped up their group stage with a big 9-1 win over Korea. They win Group A, so they'll play in semifinal number 1. Still lots to be determined, Paul, in terms of Group B. Is it China? Is it Slovakia, Czechia, Italy? Well, we do know China will be playing in a quarterfinal, but more specifically, the 3 out of the Czech Republic, Italy, and Slovakia, who moves on to the quarterfinals, still to be determined. Plenty more of Beijing 2022 coverage coming your way Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wheelchair curling and a replay of para hockey. This last game, between Canada and South Korea. All right, Paul, looking ahead, the group stage is over for Canada. Didn't start the way they wanted to with the 5-0 loss to the United States. It certainly ends much better for them. 6-0 against Korea. Does anything need to change now for Canada? Is there anything they need to improve on still to get better in the semis and ultimately try and find a way to win gold?
I think the two main things are they have to stay out of the box. Figure out a way to stay out of the box. And if we know now that the Koreans, and they're going to play them again, are going to maybe embellish some things, move away. Don't give them that opportunity. You know you're the better team. You know your talent level is much higher. I want also them to move the puck better, and I'm sure that Coach Babby and Foligno and all the coaching staff are going to work in their practice on their puck movement. They have to get everybody on that team on the board. Great opportunity for young James Dunn to pick up 3 goals, but there's a lot of players on this team that haven't hit the scoreboard yet. It's still a long tournament, even though technically it's only a couple games left. The big thing is now 2 days to get prepared.
All right, so James Dunn, certainly the story of this game. 3 goals and an assist as well. Productive, to say the least, in this one. Liam Hickey got the goal scoring started, but ultimately it's Canada who come away with a couple of goals as well in the third period for Tyler McGregor and Billy Bridges to cap off a 6-0 victory over Korea, and with it, bring their group stage to a close. Next for Canada is the semifinal. Who they'll play is yet to be determined, but we know we'll be part of that broadcast, and we look forward to seeing you then. So until that time comes around, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and have a good night.
The Canadian Para Ice Hockey Show, brought to you by Petro-Canada. At Petro-Canada, we're proud supporters of Canada's coaches and athletes.